Hello and welcome to my channel. Starting the video a little differently today, just because I want to clarify a couple of things before we start. The book that I am binding here has an odd number of sewing stations. That's the holes in the signature and on the spine. The picture you're seeing at the moment and the diagrams you'll see throughout the video are all for an odd number of sewing stations. It shows the direction and the pattern of the stitching. If, however, you have an even number of sewing stations, the difference is the turnaround between going one way and the other. I have included a diagram at the end of the video which shows the difference should you have an even number of stations. Hopefully that will all make sense to you, and hope you enjoy the video, and let's get started. Hello and welcome to my channel and to another stitching video. This one is a cross stitch, and so for this one I've got lots of holes. So it doesn't matter how many holes you have this way, and also, so you know, it depends how big the crosses you want them to be as to how far apart you space them. But you do need an even number of signatures. Well, the way I'm doing it, you need an even number of signatures, because my intention is, because you need to sew in 2 signatures at a time, and it's really difficult. You can then add one at a time. So let me try and explain. When you add 2 signatures, you get a line of crosses down here. You could, and maybe I'll do it on another video, when you add the 3rd one in, do the stitches here. I'm doing pairs, so I'm adding 2 signatures there, so it'll be a line of crosses there, 2 signatures there, and 2 signatures there. Okay, and I think that'd be the easiest way of trying to explain how to do that. So I have my signatures. They are all just random papers, using up papers from various things. So I'm going to start from the inside, okay, and through the first. Now I've got a fabric spine here. I have marked the holes in friction pen. On a previous video, the one I did, which was the double long stitch, I did not pierce the holes, and I had a bit of trouble getting with my hands getting the needle through, so I made the decision to go through each one with an awl. So like this, I went through them with my awl just to see if it will make things easier. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, this is the point at which I'll know. Okay. Okay, so that seemed to go through a lot easier. So I want to leave a tail. Now, I do need my second signature in, because I'll come out here, and I want to go in here. So this is the second stage. So I've come out the first station on the first signature. I'm going out the second station on the second signature. Now, let's get a little bit tricky. Bear with me a moment. I'm just going to stand them up because for some reason that's only gone through a couple of the bits of paper. And I want to make sure that I am coming through in the right holes. I've got some very thick paper in these signatures. I have no idea. I've just seen, I think that this signature might be upside down. That's the right way up. Bear with me a moment. I just want to double check that this one looks like it's up the right way. I think in this one, I could see a bit of paper in there that looked the wrong. Yes, it needs to be that way up. There we go. Right, so let's try that again. Now I've got my signature the right way around. No. So tell you what I am going to do, just because it gives me a second pair of hands for a minute. So I'm just going to clip that one. Okay, so that one's not uh wobbling around. Okay, so I'm coming out here. Yeah, I'm finding it easier having put the oil through to pull the needle through. Oh, I did about one length per signature of this, and I'm hoping it's enough because I'm doing them separately, so I can, when I finish these two, I can always get another piece of thread. So we're going in the second signature. There we go. Right. Okay, okay. Okay. Right, so now what I want to do is, God, that's not going to work, is it? Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Just in my head, I was like, I think I've done that wrong, but I haven't. So I'm going out the third station of here. I'm going to do it a little bit at a time. This is, when you get your head around it and see what I'm doing, you'll go, oh, I see. Right, so I'll let go of that one as well. So I just want to tighten this up a little bit. Let's give this a little bit of a pull. So I'm going, what I want to do, I want to go in the third hole here. I'm right, yes. Okay. Okay. So that's made a little like running stitch in there. Now I want to go back to this one. And that goes into my first signature. Once we've got a few stitches, your signatures will sit a little bit stiller. They won't wander around so much. I might actually do this flat rather than on the just going to take this like away. I don't think it's helping me at the minute with this. Right, so I'm going into there. Coming through. These signatures, I don't think I've pierced them particularly well. They are a lot of thick papers, so they only need to slightly move, and then they're like, no, we're not interested in doing what you want us to do. Stand up this way. Right. Right, let's get this all pulled tighter. Right, so just I don't, yeah. I'm not worried, like I said, I'm going to do them in separate threads, so I'm not too worried. So if I pulled that through, pull that one through, pull that through a bit tighter, pull that through. Right. So I've now got, so we started here, we came out from the middle. So let's call this station one, out of station one on the first signature, into station two on the second signature. Okay. We did a running stitch inside the second signature to station three. We came out, and then we've gone back down into station two of the first signature. So we're back inside our first signature, and we're going to do a running stitch in this one, which will bring us out. I'll get it right. Bring us out in station three, like so. Okay. So then we're going to go down into station 4 of signature 2. So the needles come through. I'll pull the needle through first, I think. Just I can make sure I'm keeping this. There we go. That feels better. So bringing that through into there. Yes, I think this might be, having it flat like this might be the way to go. Okay, so then we're going to do a running stitch here. I'm just going to flip this over and make sure I'm going into the right block of holes. Okay, so that's coming out here. And then we're going back into the first signature on to 6, 1, 2, 3, into station 4. That's the hole, that's my signature. That's it. My hole, my hole. Let's do it like I did before. Bring the needle through there and then into my signature. Come on, into my signature. Right. I would suggest when if you're doing this, don't use such thick paper. I think it's the problem I'm getting. Right, so we're back into that signature. So we do a running stitch. You're going to keep turning the book round just because I find this easier. So we do the running stitch and then I can see if I'm going into the right hole. Get rid of that completely. Make sure I'm going into the right hole on the cover. And we'll pull that through. Oh, don't get a knot. Don't get a knot. No. Okay, so this is where we are. As you can see, the pattern we're making. Yeah. So we now need to go into this station. So for signature 2. So I'm going to just fold signature 1 over. Going to come through hole. It's definitely working better for me to do it through the spine and then into the signature. If you've got punched holes, whatever spine you're doing it, you might find that easier than I am finding it. So we're going to go into that signature. So don't worry if you didn't get this on this because I've got another 2 sets of this to do. So we're going to do a running stitch. We're going to make sure we're going out the right line of holes. Okay. So you can see where we are on the outside. So we need to go back to this one. So that's our first signature. So we're going to go through. I'm struggling with my fingers here. So I'm not too worried about this. This is just this bit, and I can keep pulling that if it's going to cause an issue. All right, so we need to go through. Yes, right now the signatures are kind of a bit more joined, things are a bit more stable, so it's a little bit easier when you're lining things up. So like before, I'm going to turn it round just so that I can see that when I come out through here, I'm going into the right hole on my spine. And then we're going to come out. Like so. Let's see where we are on the spine. So I know this time I need to go down to this one. So we're making this because we'll go back and cross them as we go back down, because we're going to do like I said, one set of crosses here, then another set for the next two signatures, and another set for the next two. So I'm going to go in here. So in through the fabric, and then into the hole. Like I say, yours might all be lined up really nicely. You might have holes, and you can go straight through the spine, straight into the center. I'm doing it this way because it's making it easier for me. As long as you can see the pattern that you're trying to create, that's what's important. So we've done a little running stitch, and we've come back out, and we're going to see our pattern. So I need to go in here. Ooh, might even. Ooh, do you think it would be too much to think that we could go straight through? Yeah, it is. It is. It is. So let's go back through there. So it seems to be like this middle paper. It just doesn't seem to want to play ball in terms of where I pierce. There we go. No, still is that middle one, isn't it? This is telling me a lot about how I've done my signatures. I would say too many thick papers. Let's try me going straight down that way. Let's see if I can get straight in that way. No, it's not wanting to go in that last middle bit. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through like that, and then see if that then helps me to go back through the right way. My apologies for leaning forward and making the camera go a little bit. There we go. A little bit hazy. Yes, I think I'm learning a lesson here with not making not using too thick of papers. I thought, oh, it'd be lovely. Nice sturdy papers for doing a bit of art journaling. So I've turned it around again so I can do my running stitch and make sure that I'm going back into the right place on the spine. Okay. And so we can see our pattern. So I need to come in here. Oh, fluff. So let's push that through into the right place where I need to go there. Through. And this one seems to be fine. This is what I would hope the other one would do, but for some reason that center paper. So again, I'm coming out, I turned it around so I can come out this side so I can see where I'm going into here. All right. Have it however it works for you, where you can see what you're doing, but you just need to make sure each time you're coming in to the right place. Okay, so this time we need to go back up to this one. So each time one is going down, the next one goes up. One goes down, the next one goes up. As long as you've got each one like that. Do you see what I mean? So, I mean, that one's quite missed the hole, but you can see what I mean, because we're going to come back and do these on the other way up. So I need to go up to there. So this is back into that horrible signature that doesn't want to play ball. Let's see if we can do like I did on the last one. Go through and then Even now I feel like I can't get that needle in the right place. Go in. Yes, done. You can see it works on the other one, but for some reason on this one it doesn't. So we're going to make sure we're coming out the right hole. Or coming through the right place on the spine is the more important. Right? So there's nowhere for us to go up, so we're going down to this one. Let's get the there. So, and then through into this. See, look, that one. Excuse me. Suddenly got a frog in my throat. That one, no problem. Okay, so we're doing a running stitch. And now I've got a cough. Excuse me. Oh, right. So, out through this one. Make sure we're going into the right line of holes. And then back up to this one. Through. Let's see if we can go through. Yes, finally this one's working. And then make sure we're going into the right place. So once you've got these stitches going on, it holds them, so your signatures are no longer sort of flapping around. So I need to come down diagonally to this one. That's in between these two signatures. Let's just, there we go, down to there. And through into there. And then just your little running stitch, making sure you're going into the right place on your spine. Pull that through. Then back up there. If you do cross stitch, you'll, I think, see, what's going on here. Just making a line of all going one way, and then we'll go back down the other way. This head, and I've got enough thread. Right, let's see if we can sort this one again. Through there. Through there. Excellent. Okay, and then making sure we're going into the right place. Yeah. And that middle one here. And through there. Just slightly missing. You can see I pulled there, but it's not the end of the world. We'll keep going. So down into there. And then back up into that one. And let's just push that through like I've been doing before, because it has been helping. There we go. Down here. Making sure we're going out in the right place. Okay. And then to here, in between these two. I'm not convinced I've got enough thread to go all the way back up, but we'll see. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Through. And then out the last one. Like so. And then, oh, now, see what I've done? Come out the wrong bit. I wasn't paying attention. I got too complacent and I came out on the wrong bit of the spine. So I'm just going to unpick that and concentrate. Right. So that's where I want to be coming out. Is it not? Yes, it is. And then back in here. Sorry. I think with the holes in the signatures, I think because it was such a lot of thick papers, I probably didn't push the oil down quite enough. Anyway, right, let's just turn this on so I can see them coming out in the right place. So, coming out here. Right, so now we're at the end. Basically, we're now going to go back the other way. So, I can see that perhaps here I've not, well, not perhaps, I've definitely not lined them up. So, but the idea now is to go back and join these crosses. So, I will be going into this one on, the hope here is that I should be able to go back into this hole and go straight through, but it doesn't feel like, it didn't feel there like it wanted me to. No, do you see? By just pushing it, I've ended up in a very, very different place. So I'm going to be careful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick to what we were doing, go through first. Just try not, there you go, try not, whether not right? No. Oh, for goodness sake, look, you see what I've done? I've come across. That's me overthinking about what I was doing. And then, so I'm going to need to pull it through and unpick. Unpick this. I've gone into the wrong signature. So I went in, well, I've gone into the wrong hole of the signature because I wasn't concentrating. This isn't going to look the prettiest because I'm making a few mistakes, but you get the idea. And this is the one I want to go into. So right before, let's get the needle through the fabric first. There, that's better. The reason I knew I was wrong was because when I came through here, Are we going straight through or are we not? Right, I am. When I came through, I didn't have room to do a stitch again. So I knew I was in the wrong place. So this stitch is going out there. Hopefully you can see it's not joined exactly, but you know, I can live with it. And then we're going to go back and make that cross. So in through this hole, trying not to split the thread. So comes that there. And then in here, there we go. You can see we now have somewhere to go there. So what I'm trying to do is to come up there. I see now. That now came out in a nice place. Like so. And we want to go back in here. So, like I said, I am continuing to do it step at a time because what I don't want is to split my thread. I'm just trying very carefully to make sure that I'm coming through in the right places. Then round, do the stitch, come through. Excellent. And then we're going to go back up to make this cross stitch. These couple were a little bit, I think we might be back on track now. So I want to go in there. And you want to come in through here. Right, we might have to make another there. Just to remind the needle where to go. Oh, okay. Might be backing around. No, through. Good, good. And then, right. Oh, that's where it should be coming out. So I'm going to try to direct the needle a little bit more. There we go. And then down here to create this cross. Okay. Like so. And then to this one. There we go. Bring it round. Then out through there. That's as close as near as, damn it, as they would say. Right. Just need to pull that, which is the end there. Okay. And then going into this one. So what I'm doing when I lift it is I'm just moving the signatures so I know that my needle is going to come out where I can see it. Okay. And then we're going in into the signature, trying not to, there we go, not to split threads. And round. I'm turning it around because I just find it easier. And then I can see where I'm going. But you do what works for you. Okay, so now I'm lifting it because I want to separate the two because I'm coming back in between them. There. then through. Oh, something's gone wrong. How do I know something's gone wrong? Because I've got nowhere to stitch. So what have I done? Ah, so I can see if I come back around now, I can see what I've done wrong. I've gone in there rather than down to here. So it gave me the clue that I'd gone wrong somewhere, which is good. So that's where I want to be. That one. Through. And here. Yeah, and now I can see I have got somewhere to make a stitch. So that's all good. Now I'm going to keep going on this, and then I will either speed it up or just jump to the end, because it's basically this. All I'm doing is the same all the way down to the end. So back in here. So I have completed all the crosses on the outside, and I have got myself back in here and where I would normally be doing a stitch, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to tie these two ends off. You can do it a little bit more fancy if you want, but I'm just happy to do a double knot with the ends here, just to tie them off. If I could actually do it, that would be great, wouldn't it? Like so. And then I'm going to cut them a little bit longer at some point. I probably might weave them back down through there, but for now, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to have a little break because I need to get some thread. I need to let the dog out, and then I will come back and I'll show you the start again, and then either speed up or go to the end, and then I'll show you the start again. So because the start bit is the harder bit. Once you've got into the rhythm of it, yeah, it works better, but it is quite tricky if you've not done something where you've needed to work on two signatures at the same time. So for you, I'll be straight back, but I am just going to pop off to get some more thread. Right, I am back to do the next two signatures. So in here, it will be this line and this line. I put the up arrows on my signatures this time so I get them in the right way. Now remember that this is do you know what, somewhere I've got some foam. Anyway, ignore me, I was just looking for the other clips, but this start bit is the tricky bit, so we're going to do them, I think, in that order. So we're going to start with the back one, and we start from, so we're starting from the inside on the first station, and leave yourself a nice bit there, and out through that station on the spine. Okay, now remember, I haven't punched my stations. I have just pierced with an awl through the holes. Try to remember if I and there we go. What I might do this time is just to keep it out of the way, really, for no other reason really than just to keep it out of the way. So that's that. Now, so I have gone out from the middle of the signature out through the spine. And then I need to bring in my next signature because, let's just move that out for a sec, because we're going to start our next line of, when we did all of this way and then we did all of that way or the other way around, but it doesn't really matter. So this is where we're going to start. So we're going in. So we went out of the first signature on the first station and coming in to the second signature. I'm just going as first and second. I know that in theory the third and fourth, but we'll go with the first and second just because it makes it easier to work with them as a pair. So I need to come in here through the second station. Or while I had the little break, I did actually put the awl through these signatures again to just make sure that the holes are open. So this is where it's a bit wiggly. Remember, we've done our first bit until we get them kind of secured. It's a little bit wiggly. So we're on the middle here. And I'm going to go down to the next hole and out through the spine. A little bit of a pull. I'll give it a bit more of a pull in a minute just to make sure the signatures are sitting nicely. Now this one, not to worry too much if it's too loose, because remember we've got this end in here that we can pull to tighten. So I'm not too worried about that bit for the moment. So come out to the outside. So we've made our first one this way, so we need to keep doing them all this way. So if I was to go to up here, that would to the next signature, it's the wrong direction. So we need to come back. So we're above the end of this stitch. So I'm looking for that hole. I'm just going to push that up so that we can see where it is. Right, so that come back in through the hole. Remember this one, I am going to give it a little bit of a tug just to tighten that off a little bit. Okay, there we go. So we've come up through the hole and I'm going to turn it so that I can push in to the hole there. Okay, and there we go, nicely in there. Remember, these first few are the tricky ones because the signatures are not yet settled into place. Okay, well, we're beginning to now. You can see we're beginning to get them settled in. Okay, so we're in this one. So we now need to do the down and make sure that we're going out the right part of the spine. We'll pull that through. Okay, so we're now on the outside, and so we need to keep this at the same angle. So we're going to go back in the next, and we're going from one signature to the next. So we're going backwards and forwards, joining the two together with this cross stitch. So I'm going to go through there. Through that will come up between Open those out, and that should come up between the two signatures. There we go. Right, now you see this one's gone all loose. So we're just going to sort that out. Pull that through. And let's just give ourselves a little bit of a pull. Okay, there we go. And that's tightened those up. And that top one again, remember, we've still got that our little bit in there. Okay. So now I'm going in. Oh, I've got a bit of that's from the spine fabric. So here we're going to go in to that signature. It comes through to the middle. And I'm just gonna give it a bit of a tug just to make sure everything is keeping nice and taut. Okay. There you go. And then we need to do our next stitch, making sure we're going into the right part of spine. So let's have a look. How we're doing. That's looking good. All the stitches look quite fine in there. And so then look, we need to make sure we're still going at the same angle. So this one needs to come back to here, which should come up. Should come out between the two. So put it through. Oh, come on, go through. Why is it not going through? Bear with me a minute. There we go. It's too close to I say too close, it was right on point for the hole in the signature. And then in through into here. I think taking that little bit of time to go through each of the holes with it all has paid off. So coming out here, making sure we're going into the right line of holes. And we're coming out. And remember, we're still trying to keep everything at the same angle, so we'll be going down into this one, which is that one between. Lost track. Yes, there it is. So that one's come up through there. Oh. And remember, I'm doing it this way because I've got quite thick signatures, and I'm finding it easier to come through the fabric and then go through the signature. But you might well be able to do it all in one go. Where have we got caught? We've got caught here. That clip is just holding the first two signatures down so that they're not moving around while I'm trying to do this. So this is good. Okay. So signature in. And then do there. Make sure we're going out on the right hole through the spine. Okay, so I'm going to start speeding the video up now and get all the way to the bottom, and then I will do the first few in real time on the way back so we can remember how we do it. And yeah, so that's where we're going. Okay, so I've come out of this hole and there is no more holes to keep going that way. So we're going to start going back the other way. And this is where you need to just be careful that you're not splitting your thread and that you're going back in through the same holes. So we'll do a couple. So we're going back in through this hole. I'm just trying to be very careful. I think on the way up, on the way this way, there were a couple of times when the needle just went into the right place, without me even having to go through the fabric first. I was hoping it might do there, but it's not. So let's just take a step back and do it the right way. So come back in, and then we're going to go in to the center. Remember, you always know if you've come up in the right place because there should be somewhere for you to do a stitch into. If there isn't, you're in the wrong place. Remember, we are now making the crosses, so we're doing all the lines this way. So now, just put my finger in between the two signatures because that's where we're going now. In between those two signatures, I'm into the hole. I keep turning it round so that it's at the most suitable angle for myself. So I like to be able to see where I'm going in on this side. So I turn it around there. You know, it's just a case of, you know, what suits you. Okay, so come out here. So already you can see that our crosses are going. So over to this one. Nope, has that gone through? It has. Hey, that one went straight through. Sometimes it does, sometimes it just doesn't. So I'll go with whatever it's deciding it wants to do. About there. Okay, so I'm going to keep going till I get to the other end, and then I will be back. We'll start the other one, and then I'll probably just do the whole one of that. Maybe again all the way up, just and then just show you how we turn around. But you know, you don't need to see me do this multiple times. I'm gonna go through. No. So we just need to be careful. Right, so I will speed this up and I'll see you in a minute. We have reached the end again, so we're just going to tie. Let's take that bit of tape off now. Sort of did the job. Just going to tie a knot there, and then, like I did last time, just going to leave a little of a length because I might thread it through, but that'll be fine. Right, so that's where we're at so far. Looking quite good, I think. I'm quite pleased with that. So we just need to do the last two signatures. So again, I'll start them off, and I will show you on a turn and the ending. But hoping that you've you've got it now. I mean, you can just do, you know, ease. You could just do 2 signatures. That would look very pretty on a spine. I decided for these demonstrations to make life very difficult for myself. I do not know why, but I have. So we'll start, I think, with this one. So we're going to go. So I've got this signature and another one to go. So we go from the inside of the first signature. Remember, these first few stitches are the tricky ones. We leave that end. We go out through our first hole. So first station of the first signature, we go out, and then we come back in. Just fold those clips up so I can put it up like this. So then, oh, now I know I've just pulled that end, and I pulled that end far too much. So we're going to, because we're going, this is the other signature is here. We're going to go in there. Remember, don't worry about the sort of wibbly wobbly at the beginning, because until we get a few stitches in, it's what's going to happen. So last signature. Oh, that's bright. That's going to be flashing on your screen on and off now. So we've come back in on the second signature through the second station. Okay, so first station on the first signature, second station on the second signature. We'll pull those tighter, a little bit tighter in a minute, once we started getting a few things sorted. So we now do our little stitch to the next hole and out to the side. And we'll just give it a little bit of a tug so you can see. That's tighten that off. Just make sure you look in between. Yes, we've still got this one, but remember this one, we've got the other bit that we can pull, haven't we? So don't worry too much about that one. So remember that we are keeping them all going the same direction. So this one will be going back to here. So let's see where we've come through. There we go. Let's come through there. It's caught there. We're going back into this signature now. I'm going to give this a little bit of a tug. So those you can see pulled through. This one didn't, because this will control with this one. So we're going back in to this signature, the original signature, signature 1. Move that out of the way and I can see where the hole is. She says, oh, I went through all these. Made sure. I don't think the papers were lined up. Oh, there we go. The papers weren't lined up. That's why it was not working. There we go. That's looking good. We do our little stitch and make sure we're going out the right place. Remember, we're still at that stage where everything's a little wibbly wobbly because it's not quite being held in place by enough stitches, but it's okay because we still can pull the tension because everything's going the same way. So that's there. Just check we can't see any in the inside. Oh, between them. No, that's starting to look good. So what have we just done? We've just come up. No, we haven't. What have we just done? We've just come out here. Okay. So remember, we're keeping the same direction. So it's in through this one. So this one will be coming out here. Oh, do you think we could go straight through? Oh, I think we might have gone straight through. Brilliant. Sometimes I've been able to do it. Other times it's just like, no. Okay, so our nice little stitch. Make sure we're going out through the right hole or the right place. If you've got your holes punched, then that's an easier job really. And then we're going back up because we're keeping our stitches all going in the same way. So we're going in here, which should be, you can see they're still moving around a lot. We're not, but we're getting there. Oh, straight in. Goodness me. Right, so I am going to continue in this same way all the way down to the bottom, making all our stitches this way. Okay, so I'm at the end almost, so I'm going out through this last one here, ready to go back and now make the crosses this way. So we'll do a couple and then again I will speed the video up or maybe even edit things out. I don't know, we'll see how we go. Probably just speed it up very quickly. So going back, so we're filling in these stitches here. And each time we're now making the other part of the cross for the cross stitch. So remember, trying to go back through the same holes. We're trying not to split the thread. Lots of things to think about, but you know, it's achievable. Each time we're filling in the gaps on the inside and making the crosses on the outside. Ooh, I'll come through there. If you see, I'm just a bit too high, so I'm just gonna. Right, so I'm going to continue to the end and then I will be back. Here we are at the end again. And just going to tie that off. Just there. And there we go. We have our cross stitch. I have to say that last lot, the holes lined up really well, and a lot of the time I was able to go straight through from the spines through into the signature. So yeah, that's cross stitch. And like I say, you could just do 2 signatures and have one, or you could just do 4, but you do need an even amount of thread. At the beginning I said about, you know, perhaps cross stitching here. I do think that going through these holes again might be a bit too much, and actually I quite like the spacing between. So yeah, so there is cross stitch. You don't have to do it as you know, on such a long spine, but yes, that's it. Thank you very much for joining me, and hopefully back with another stitching video sometime soon.